Hello, I'm Soribel Sosa from Dominican Republic. I'm a current study from PPCR 2022. And in this week, we are talking about the business of investigation and of clinical research. This topic is it has many things, many interests to describe. First, I want to read something that I saw in the book, a quote that says, "Money won't buy happiness, but it will pay the salaries of a large research staff to study the problem." That was said by Bill Van Goven. And when I read this quote, it was like, oh my God, we have to realize that everything in life is money, everything in life is business. Sometimes we're in the area of science and we are like very far from this topic, but we have to realize that this is the reality. Realize the reality. Business are business, and money has many things involved that we have to be clear about it to reduce some problems that can be from this. In this week, I learned some terms, or I want to share with you some things that I consider that are important. In research, we have many institutions that can do the research, for example, universities, in industry, and everyone has a primary finality. For example, industry, one business, one benefits. Some university or college, another institution, one knowledge, they want be aware for its work. So we have to be clear. What do I want? And when we have clear what do we want, next step that we can do is going to the pharmaceutic or to the industry, or going to apply for a job, for example, in a place, in a center of investigation. To minimize the risk of having problems, when we're talking, as the case of this week says, they had a reunion and they were talking how is going to be the payments, how is going to be the information, the data. Those things are very important to have clear before we sign a contract. For example, one thing very, very, very important is to define who is going to pay for the indemnification in case of the patient, of the subjects of the study has adverse events. Who's going to carry with these costs? So in the protocol and before the contract, these things have to be clear. Another thing that caught my attention this week was the New England Journal of Medicine conduct interview where they describe why are the causes of the problem between industry and places of investigation. And this says that 75 of the problem comes from payments with business. The 30% came because the intellectual property, and the less was 17 because the control of the data. Who is going to have the control of the data? So we have to be clear of that things. Another thing that caught my attention in numbers was in 2007, it was published that in the United States, 58% were conducted by industry. So industry is going in front of the investigation in the research. So in this week, it's just a call to action to stop, think, and analyze. What do we want? We want to be, as the case of study, the best, for example, psychiatry in the industry of research, or we want to be the CEO of the pharmaceutical place. But it doesn't matter what we want. The most important thing is that we have to be clear with the protocols. We have to be assured that the bioethics things are always in front of our work, and always thinking in the collaborative thinking. If we are collaborative, we are going to have better results. So those are my learnings from this week. See you next.